Hey YouTube, welcome to Beyond the Hype. This is a series that I created to give you real answers and not clickbaity showpieces about Pokemon. And this one we're looking at Shadow Steelix. Everyone is very, very hyped about Shadow Steelix. I used it and I'm going to tell you it is mediocre at best. And I'll give you a couple reasons why and I'll showcase some battles here. So first of all, I think that having Dragon Tail and Breaking Swipes on a non-dragon Pokemon really just immediately limits its non-stab moves here. Plus, your second move is an Earthquake. So I know it has a good sort of like matrix if you go to like PvPoke. I think a lot of that is bait dependence because what I've played when I played today and what I found was you often needed to land the Earthquake in many scenarios and you needed to bait the Breaking Swipes to get there because Dragon Tail to get to Earthquake is quite a long. That's why a lot of the time you were actually running Psychic Fangs and Crunch before because Earthquake is a really, really long time to get to. But if you're running Dragon Tail and Breaking Swipes, you have nothing to throw at Fairies, so you need the Earthquake. And same thing with Steels. If you're running Dragon Tail Breaking Swipes, you have nothing to throw at Steels. So, I mean, Crunch would hit neutral, but Earthquake is what hits super effective, right? So, kind of a Sims hero, in my opinion. The second problem was so like I said, you're gonna see Dragon Tail Breaking Swipe not hit that hard against like anything with mediocre bulk. And then the third thing is so many weaknesses in this Great League. Like I said, you already can't throw anything at Fairies. You can only throw Earthquake. Steals resist your Dragon Tail and Breaking Swipes as well, so you have to get to the Earthquake. And then you are weak to fighting, water fighting, there's two more. Sorry, let me just look this up because I remember going over this yesterday and you're weak to 4, I'm pretty sure. Steelix is weak to water, fighting, fire, and ground. Yes, fire and ground. So if you're going to be weak to fighting, fire, ground, and water, you basically need 2 Pokemon to cover all those weaknesses. Pelipper covers basically every single one, right? Fighting with your flying, and then fire, ground with your water, and then you resist the water. And then I also put in Swampert because same thing. It can just deals with the fire and ground, and then just super neutral to fighting. Being able to budge a Hydro Cannon. I have Sludge Wave on it. You do not need Sludge Wave. I put it on because I didn't have TMs to TM Earthquake last season. So that's what I did. Let's look at some battles, and you're going to see why in action it is not that good. And we're starting with Dugong. So here we go. Even sort of not shields. Even fast moves, both doing 3-turn fast moves. Both doing neutral moves. So unfortunately, they get the Icy Wind off. I thought I went CMP, but I see it's not went CMP against Dugong. As you saw there, now they lower my attack, but like I'm now lowering their attack twice, and you're gonna see a drill run land here, and then so I already landed 2 Breaking Swipes here. They get the drill run off, not enough to take me out because I've lowered their attack twice, and now I overfarm and get to the third one, and this probably still won't even take out. So I know they lowered my attack once. Let me just pause this. This is where the non-stab comes in. I know they lowered my attack once, sure, but I just did a hard-hitting Dragon Tail and 3 Breaking Swipes, and Dugong is still alive. So I'm gonna lose in this 0-1 shield because again, I should have thrown the first one before they got the Icy Wind off. But even so, like it's just bad. So now I'm going to need my back end to sweep here for me. Down a shield. Luckily, Swampert and Pelipper are still 2 of the very strongest Pokemon in this meta. They catch a Hydro Cannon on the Azumarill. This is not looking great right now. Lucky for me, I am running Sludge Wave, so that's just kind of lucky that I'm running the super effective, quicker charge move. They end up shielding, which is fine. I think I can live an Ice Beam if it's an Ice Beam, which it is. I will now get to the next Sludge Wave. If they shield, which I expect, it is now Pelipper sweeping time, and that is going to be a theme today, Pelipper sweeping for me. So I can live one player up, but I'm going to shield because Let this first one go. Okay. Because Sableye is going to hit way harder. Get to the Hurricane. Leaves Sableye with 1 HP, which is unfortunate. So I have to shield this up. But I am lucky that I am able to outpace to the Hurricane here. So I'm going to get to the Hurricane just before this gets to another Ice Beam. Because that Wing Attack buff helps a ton. And then I'm going to catch the Ice Beam on the Swampert. And so then now I can just Wing Attack down. So won this matchup, not because of Steelix, but because of the back two. So Steelix into Nidoqueen. This is a goodish matchup, but again, is it? Because yes, I got the Breaking Swipes, I've got the Dragon Tail, which is adding up. They have Earth Power. Earth Power would probably one shot, and unfortunately I get baited here. Right, so now they can definitely one shot me with Earth Power, having lowered my defense. It's a non-shadow Nidoqueen, so I don't know if they actually could have one-shotted me. If I remember, they end up letting it go and coming in with something that I'm weak to, fighting, right? So I got to get out immediately because I'm a fighter. And here we go. We have Pelipper going to start grabbing shields here because the Wing Attack Weather Ball is coming at a very hard pace and it's decently hard. Get a second one off here. And now my win condition, once they let this go, is essentially going to be Swampert. So what I have to do is try and get another Weather Ball off. I cannot, they throw. That's okay. So now I'm like, okay, Swampert cannot Mud Shot down from this point. So I'm just going to try and Dragon Tail down because maybe I can come out with multiple moves for the Hitmonchan here. So going the full farm down, I am at Earthquake. And again, this is the only time Steelix is actually good, when it's at an Earthquake and you can actually bait. So throw the Breaking Swipes, lowers their attack, plus I burn the shield. So this game is now over because I can just Hydro Cannon for the win. So again, you had to like... So Steelix is probably one of those things where if you just want to... If it's on the lead, it's just kind of like, again, bad lead here. And this is a double fairy team, if I remember. Yeah, it's a fighter double fairy. So again, Steelix is just absolutely useless against this team. So it's just one of those things where it's just like time after time, just so many bad matchups in the Great League meta. The non-stab Dragon Tails and non-stab Breaking Swipes just don't hit hard enough. The Earthquake takes a long time to get to, so you can't even bait half the time. So you could run Crunch, but then again, if you run Crunch, you're definitely not going to have anything to throw at... you're not going to have anything to throw at fairies. At least Earthquake gives you something. And same thing, like you kind of want the Earthquake for Steels, because if you just go resisted Dragon Tails and Crunch, you're just, again, it's going to be a terrible matchup. Luckily, again, I have... I have Break, I have Sludge Wave, which they are not expecting because why would they? But I have it because I did not TM away and I needed it for a tournament here. So get the Hydro off. They're going to have to shield. And at this point, I can now come in. So the Dragon Tails are adding up a bunch here. But you got to remember, I'm a Shadow and Toxicroak is Glassy AF. So yes, I'm chunking a bunch, but it's like, it's Toxicroak and I'm a Shadow Steelix. And a Breaking Swipe doesn't even take it out from that range. Again, Break Snite's not a hard move. It's more of a bait move, but there it is. So Justin comes in. This is where it's kind of... This is like... If I want to talk about... like, I don't want to just put Steelix down. I just think it's like way overrated at 12 on PV Poke because I think it's a Sims hero. But this is kind of where you want it, where you can just like Dragon Tail Bunch, lower their attack, and then get on a matchup that you like. Okay, I don't have an amazing answer here, but I caught a Surf there. Lower their attack, so I should be able to keep switch if I want here. So that's where Steelix has a chance, but honestly, it's not worth going. And I know it's up to the regular Steelix is up to 12 on PV Poke's rankings, and Shadow Steelix is actually much worse, 29. So it's at 29. I'm just looking at the matchups here. Has a 25 and 17 matchup. Okay. I'm wondering how much of this requires baiting. And I'm just going to go straight to Reggie because I've got to imagine you're baiting a breaking swipe and landing an earthquake. That is exactly what you're doing. So if I'm just going to get rid of breaking swipe for a second here and just go straight earthquake here, you get killed. 89 to 130. Because if they shield an earthquake, you're done. So it's a bait game. So your record is, what was it? 25 and 17. There's a loss if they shield up properly. No, Pelipper is probably a legit win. No, Pelipper. Yeah, Pelipper is a legit win, even if they land a couple weather balls. That's okay. It's those things that you need to land earthquake that I'm thinking. A Ninetales too, with charm. Oh, with charm. And that's still baiting a breaking swipe and landing an earthquake. What if you just go straight earthquake here? You get killed. You get killed by Ninetales. So here we go. This is what I thought. I thought that Shadow Steelix is a Sims hero, and that's exactly what I'm seeing here in these matchups. Even against Cofagrigus, you're baiting the breaking swipes and then landing the earthquake. So I've got to imagine if they let the breaking swipes go, or even in the zero shield, they can probably get to multiple moves before you get to, oh no, you land an earthquake. So the earthquake is what is the bait, lowering the attack, and then landing an earthquake is what is making Steelix win in a lot of these Sims. And that's how I feel playing with it. So that's beyond the hype. It is hyped up at 12 on rankings. I've already seen content creators go crazy about this, putting this out, being like, OP, OP. It's not. It is bait dependent. It's non-stop Dragon Tails. It's weak to many things in the Great League. It's a Sims hero that you need to bait breaking swipe and land earthquake half the time. Not one that I would prioritize building. I'm gonna post this. I did 3 teams yesterday: Gligar, Steelix, and Greedent. And I'm posting the Steelix today because Gligar and Steelix both were requested in my poll that I did, like about even. So I am showcasing this today. I will give you sort of, I mean, the other video I'm posting this morning of the Gligar, worth the hype, 100%. That was, it has its drawbacks. And I encourage you to go watch that video because it does have its drawbacks, but what an improvement. It is a Sims hero at times too. You need to bait the aerial ace, and so don't get me wrong, there is a Sims hero aspect of it, but the wing attack buff, just you get to dig so fast, and dig the decreasing of the energy and decreasing of damage, like it's much better for that Pokemon. So go check out that video. Tomorrow you will see Greedent and maybe Hitmonchan top. I haven't decided what I want to post tomorrow yet. I did one or two games with him on top, so I may do that one tomorrow, but I'm gonna also try other Pokemon, so we'll see what I want to post. I'm gonna do, like, because they were new in the season and everyone wants to see what's going on, I'm gonna try and do 2 every single day through Thursday, right? So 2 Saturday, 2 Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So 8, 10, 12 different Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 6 times 2, yep, 12. So 12 different Pokemon to use. There are definitely 12 Pokemon worth testing. But so far, Gligar, yes. Steelix, don't waste your time. Greedent, not any better than, I mean, a little, like, minuscule better than it was before. And I will go over the numbers tomorrow on that, beyond the hype. So beyond the hype, here we are. Steelix, I don't think it is worth the build at this time. I think there are way better Pokemon. This team was carried by Swampert and Pelipper. I would 100% build these two way before I build that. I didn't even have to go against a Metachamp. Lanterns, like slower to get to the surfs, but it probably still beats you. Again, that's probably bait dependent on landing an earthquake on it. Carbink is probably going to beat you. It only has resisted moves with Rock Slide, Rocks. So you probably win that because you can go Earthquake and they can really only do that. But like again, Registeel was a bait that you're really not going to win. Swampert still everywhere. Poliwrath haven't run into that yet. Gligar. Gligar would be an interesting one. What would Gligar versus Steelix do? Steelix hasn't even made its way into the Sims, into the top. So it's dependent whether you shield a dig or not. Because you can only go breaking swipes. It takes, looks like three breaking swipes, right? 2 plus a shield to take you out. You land one dig. One dig does 45%. And one aerial ace is super resisted at 10%. So if you are in the zero shield, I bet you win the zero shield because you can just go straight dig and win there. Yes, that's expected. Okay. So it seems like Gligar versus Steelix, going straight dig in the zero is going to win. In the ones, if they shield a dig, you are now going to lose that matchup because you cannot get to a third dig before they get to a third break and swipe. But yeah, I haven't even gone over the other ones like Double we haven't seen yet. G-Fisk is going to light you up. Quagsire is going to beat you a ton. All the mud boys, right? Anything that's a mud is going to beat you because you're weak to ground. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Steelix. Not worth the investment at this time. I think there are other Pokemon that you should focus on. Before that, again, if you have a ton of dust and you have a ton of candy, sure, you can test yourself. Like, this is just my opinion. I'm sure other content creators have their opinion. But yeah, that is my opinion on Steelix. So I encourage you to go watch the Gligar this morning, and encourage you to watch all these new ones because I'm going to give you honest opinions about all these Pokemon so that you know what you can worth building versus what you can probably save some resources on, because I am a free-to-play player, so that is what I care about. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy your weekend. See you guys in the next one.